What's up? Welcome back. I'm John Stark from MacTheMovieGuy.com, your favorite blind film critic, and I've been caught stealing. So I'm so sorry. I just have to come on here and apologize. I didn't mean to. My hand just slipped. The thing was in my pocket. I don't know how it got there. It's actually a new movie from Darren Aronofsky. It stars Austin Butler, Regina King, um, Zoe Kravitz, Matt Smith, Vincent D'Onofrio, Liev Schreiber. I'm sure I'm missing somebody. Um, but yeah, it does have audio description. It's narrated by Roy Samuelson, and I'm not supposed to know that apparently because there are no credits at the end of this. No company took credit for caught stealing. This is a growing trend that I fucking hate. I just really hate this. It is because it's like not knowing who to even complain to. Like if this description was ass and I didn't like it, would I just complain to Roy because I recognize his voice? He's the narrator. He's the voice talent. He gets hired to read. He didn't write the narration for it, nor did he mix it. The mix is not my favorite mix of the year. It is not 100% balanced correctly. So I would say it's valid that I would like to know who did this because the mix is slightly off. It definitely favors the audio description a little bit. You're gonna have to run your TV a little bit higher if you're doing this at home like I did, because the film is beneath the audio description. So I had to turn it up. So it meant the audio description was like shouting at me so that I could hear the film at like an audible level. So whatever it is, that's life. Not the first film. I'd actually rather have it that way than have it the other way where I can't hear the audio description, which is kind of the problem I have with like Anora in certain parts. Um, so this one, yeah, the audio description triumphs over the movie all the time. Uh, but it is good description. I mean, there's without context, I'm gonna try not to spoil it, but there's a car accident sequence here, that's brutal. It's one of those car accident sequences where somebody drives, like what happens when a car hits an immovable object. Splat happens. So yeah, I thought the description coming out of that, I think Darren Aronofsky didn't had a little bit of unrealistic expectations about that scene and about how everyone but one person will walk away from it, but you know, it is what it is. So Austin Butler plays a failed baseball player who his neighbor Matt Smith goes away for a while, and he is asked to sort of cat sit because he's got this cat, and things just go wildly out of control from there. It turns out there's some bad people who want to get something that Matt Smith's character Ross, is there a U or an O? I can't remember. I think it's like U, Russ. There's something that he has that a lot of people want, and a lot of people end up showing up and threatening Butler, and he doesn't know what to do because it's not him. Like, he's just cat sitting, but people don't give a shit. They're just like, you're gonna help us, and he's like, I'm just a neighbor. Like, I don't. But then like his life, and he gets kind of thrown in and pulled into deeper and deeper, and he's like forced into this thing whether he wants to be or not, and there's nothing really he can do about it. He's the one who happens to be there, and people blame him for the thing, and he gets pulled into it. It has uh, it has the kind of flavor to it where you would think that this has some sort of like manic energy to it throughout, but it does kind of struggle with pacing at times, where sometimes um, we're just sitting there and watching Butler chill, and or um, you know, I don't know, Aronofsky is not really known for making sort of mainstream movies, and I think this is his idea of what mainstream audiences are looking for in a movie. So I think he's struggling with his typical conventions of the kind of things that he would like to do with a film, while also trying to direct something that opens wide to a mainstream audience with a bankable lead, and plays to people who haven't normally watched a Darren Aronofsky movie before, who have thought his stuff is too weird, or who just don't like it, or, you know, they wait for something like Black Swan or The Whale because of the Oscar nominations and wins, and then they dive in and they're like, this is not for me. So it's almost like he is trying to catch maybe like some old friends from high school who are like, I can't get through to your movies, man. Why don't you direct something for everybody? Why don't you do one of them Marvel movies? So he's like, oh, God, what can I do? I guess I have this idea for Caught Stealing. We could do that. People seem to really like that movie, Uncut Gems. I could do something like that. It's not really the same thing, though. It's kind of its own. It's really hard to pinpoint what Caught Stealing is. I think it's interesting, but at the same time, I I wanted it. It has spurts of energy where it's like where the tensions mount, then they fall again, and then they mount, and then they fall again. And there are little clues along the way, little things that pick up on the characters say to each other. Austin Butler is really good in the lead role. I'm so glad he stopped talking like Elvis. I'm so, I'm so glad that happened for him. We have moved on. I think he has proven himself to be a decidedly new, exciting talent, who I think will end up returning to awards season in the future. I think he's going to circle back around. I really liked him in The Bike Riders. Not my favorite performance in that. I think Tom Hardy really was the standout, but I mean, he was good in the film. He's completely wasted at Eddington. Austin Butler doesn't even need to be at Eddington. I would have just cut his entire character out of Eddington. But here, as the lead of the film, is a pretty average, normal guy who just gets drawn into a bad circumstance and situation. I think he does nice work because, you know, this isn't what he signed up for. This isn't what he expected. And he just kind of wants to listen to baseball and reminisce about the thing that should have been him, but isn't him because he didn't quite make it. He wasn't quite the massive baseball success or prodigy that he had hoped he would be. And we don't deal with that enough. I think the fail of being a baseball player. I kind of wish they had worked that in a little bit. I mean, like, you have a character that's supposed to be excellent in baseball. And I kind of wanted him to throw like 100-mile fastball or something and knock someone's head off or something. Utilize it. Be creative, man, you know. We have one of those cats here that I'm not 100% sure is a real cat. My God, if Darren Aronofsky used a real cat, this cat, I don't think made a single noise. I don't think it ever meowed. It's the cat from A Quiet Place, day one. It's the same cat. It just makes no noise. He has the, I never heard like, I think even a well-trained cat would have made sound at least somewhere in the film, but I think Aronofsky just didn't want it, and so thus the cat never speaks. It's so weird. I don't think it did. If I'm wrong, correct me, but I don't remember the cat ever going, you know, like, ever in the whole film. And he's such a well-trained cat because he's carted around the whole film, and sometimes he's let out in like public spaces and he doesn't like run off, and he just, you know, it's gotta be an AI cat. But it's definitely an AI cat in certain circumstances because nobody would allow an animal to be in certain shots. But supporting cast, Regina King, I thought she was great. She plays a cop that's really tough to pin down. Really sort of like street tough, no nonsense, you know, cut through the bullshit type cop. Kravitz is kind of wasted, just because her screen time is kind of limited. But and she's just capable of so much more than what she has here. She's just kind of limited to the sexy girlfriend role, you know, um the hookup or whatever. I don't know. It's just I kind of just I wanted more from her character, but in general, just not from her, just from her character. The rest of the gang is just they're all fine. If you were to pick a standout from the supporting cast, I think Regina King is probably the standout. I liked how her character evolved over the course of the film. Everybody else, because there's sort of like this collection of people that all want this thing, and so they all play these various different characters, and nobody really has any growth. They all kind of stay because he's being attacked by everybody from every which way, including like a pair of like these Hasidic Jew assassins. And that, I mean, that part was kind of entertaining. Sometimes it's like a dark comedy. It can be funny. It has its moments. And other times it's just a brutally violent film. It's definitely a departure for Aronofsky. It's not my favorite work of his. I like when he's able to blend his artistry with a film that's coherent. I think sometimes he steps a little bit too far out and goes and is given. I think The Fountain is probably an example of feeding his ego too much. But a movie like Black Swan is sort of the perfect example of what he can do as an artist with the right script, the right actors, and the right balance of his psychological thriller mixed with a rather sort of accessible film. I think it's one of his more accessible titles that more people have seen and have been able to sit through without it being just completely, like feeling like it's art for art's sake. Um, but yeah, he does have some other films. I don't love all of his films. I was curious as to whether or not I would love Caught Stealing. It's not my least favorite Darren Aronofsky film. It's also not my favorite. So I don't think he benefits from going mainstream. I don't see him doing that. I don't think he gained anything from it. The box office wasn't huge here. I don't know if he was offered an even more mainstream project like a Marvel movie. That's I don't know what he would do with it. I would be a little trepidatious to give Darren Aronofsky something like that if he was always going to be chained and constrained. The problem is that we've seen what he can do with a big budget, and it's not great. And then at the same time, if you put limitations on him, that's kind of you losing the point of hiring somebody like Darren Aronofsky. If you hire an auteur, you hire them because you believe in their vision and what they're able to bring to a project. So The Fountain was just maybe he got that out of his system. And if he was able to direct another film that had a sizable budget with a sizable cast, sure, maybe it might work out for him. Maybe he doesn't need to completely always direct indie films like The Whale, or I didn't like Mother. I mean, I didn't. I Mother was a film that I thought I was gonna hate, so I didn't see it right away, and I saw it later. And then I just think parts of it are silly. I think parts of it work and parts of it don't. So it's not like a complete and utter failure for me. I just don't like the film. So he's he's a very talented, very gifted director and auteur, and I think he's inspired a lot of people. But Caught Stealing is him trying to go mainstream. It's his answer to try to do something that everybody can see. And we've seen directors do that, who try to make a film that is for everybody. I think people were surprised when Scorsese made Hugo, for example. But I think Hugo, for Scorsese, is a more passionate project and lands better than Caught Stealing does for Aronofsky. So I I'm fresh on this. I'm just not like, oh my god, rush out and see Caught Stealing. I just don't have a lot of negative things to say for it, except for I wanted more because Sator is capable of more. Aronofsky is capable of a lot more than this. I think the cast is fine. There isn't a bad performance, but there's some characters that are a little underwritten. I think the pacing in some parts is amazing, and the pacing in other parts is a little slow. So it's an imperfect film, but we live in a so many people go on to Rotten Tomatoes and they see that and they see a film and they're like, "What? That film has way too high of a Rotten." The score is an aggregator of yes or no. So I'm saying yes, but you have to see the score. You have to kind of guess how high of a yes it is. You can't we we should also be able to, grade so that what the average score is. It's like, yes, it's a fresh, but it's also not a 9.9 out of 10. It's really like a 6.5 out of 10, like average score. Like we all agree it passed the minimum threshold for uh for quality, but it is on the lower end, and that's kind of where caught stealing is for me. I'm gonna give it a 6.7 out of 10. Um, and yeah, anything six and above for me, just like the tomato meter, right? So this wouldn't even be like certified. This isn't even like certified fresh for me. This is just fresh, just simply fresh. So, I if you want to see it, check it out. It's not going to be any awards conversation. That's kind of why I wanted to make sure I came around to it, was because I have to vote for things, and I want to vote for the things that I want to vote for, not for the things that people are telling me to vote for or that trends are voting for. I'm very much the kind of person that puts people on my ballot knowing that no one else is going to vote for them just because, just because I'm like, we'll see what happens. But if we don't all do that, then we end up voting for, and it just looks like everybody puts the same things. Like we all want to be Oscar prognosticators or something, which is not fun. That's not celebration of film. It doesn't mean you saw the best films of the year. It just means that you're trying to guess what the Oscar voters will vote for, and you're not really celebrating other films and other performances, or standing up for films that you loved that maybe not everybody else did, or performances that you loved that maybe not everybody else did. So I checked out Caught Stealing, and there's nothing really here that I'm willing to fight for. I think it adds to Austin Butler's career, but I don't think it does it in a meaningful way where he's going to be an awards conversation. So there you go. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing, and I will see you guys on the other side.